Hi, I'm here to do a character ranking for The Smurfs 2, the 2013 film that is a sequel to the 2011 Smurfs film. And there are a lot of characters in it. Like for the 2011 characters ranking, I'm focusing on main characters and supporting characters because there's too many characters that just appear briefly to rank. Uh, 14, Clumsy Smurf, just not a huge fan of that continuity's take on Clumsy. Thankfully, he doesn't have as big a role in the Smurfs too, so that's nice at least. 13, Blue, uh, Patrick and Grace's son. He perfectly fine character, just not really a lot to say about him. 12, Grace. Grace Winslow, good character in the 2011 film. She doesn't have a very big role in the 2013 film, though, because it's much more about Patrick dealing with, I think, his stepfather. Um, but still a likable enough character. 11, through 11, 10, 9, 8, I have characters that are basically supporting characters there for comedy relief. 11, Grouchy. 10, Hackus, who is one of the big characters introduced in the film. 9, Vanity. And 8, Brainy. So I kind of ranked those four characters based simply off of whose comedy I enjoyed the most. And Hackus is technically more important than the others due to the him and Vexy and their connection to Smurfette and Gargamel and all that stuff. But still, Hackus, usually enough character, but Vexy's a lot more interesting for sure. 7, Azrael, fun character, kind of adorable, but also mischievous, so really fun character. 6, Victor Doyle. Smurfs 2 was my introduction to Brendan Gleeson, and I quickly became a fan of his acting. He's really good, and it is a Smurfs film, but Smurfs films can get emotional sometimes, and there was a surprising amount of emotion to Victor. At first, it seems like he is going a bit too far. He does make some mistakes and some bad choices, but he also can be selfless, and he and I really like how hard he's trying to be a father to Patrick, even with Patrick um, going against him and giving him a hard time. And there is some surprising dramatic nuance to Victor. The only thing I don't really like about Victor is he does cause a little bit of trouble at times. What happens to a kid early on is basically his fault, and also kind of got in the way with Smurf's rescue at one point. But aside from that, Victor is a very emotionally compelling and sympathetic character. 5, Patrick Winslow. Like the first film, I really like Patrick. I think his storyline is very interesting, and I like the parallels between him and Papa, the two fathers, and there's even some parallels between him and Smurfette, dealing with who's the true father and your birth father or the father that looked after you, and there's some really interesting stuff there. And Patrick is a little too hard on Victor, although there are some points where I understand where he's coming from, but very emotionally moving character, very good. For Vexy, a lot of the film is focused on Smurfette and Vexy's dynamic, with them uh, being sisters, and Vexy somewhat being a bad influence on Smurfette, but Smurfette and Vexy having some fun, and it felt like Smurfette and Vexy's dynamic felt in a lot of ways the heart of the film and where a lot of the dramatic nuance came from. And Vexy's a very good character, very interesting, very cool, mischievous character, but still a sympathetic character. In third place, Papa Smurf. Like in the 2011 film, Jonathan Winter's wonderful voice performance for Papa Smurf. And Papa Smurf is very sympathetic, where he isn't Smurfette's biological father, but he is such a great adoptive father. Really shows that adopted parents can be so great, and he loves Smurfette so much, and he does so much, yet he still feels like he needs to do more. He cares so much about his kids, and is trying to help Smurfette with this very difficult situation. A very sympathetic character. Great take on Papa. In second place, Gargamel. And Gargamel is very interesting in the film, where, of course, Gargamel is very villainous, very sneaky, very hard to trust. But with him being Smurfette's creator, her father, he's in an interesting position where a lot of the emotion is interesting, where can Smurfette have any kind of a connection to him? And it's an interesting thing to explore and deal with in a film. And Gargamel is very entertaining, very funny. But story wise, he is a little bit more interesting than usual. He's already an interesting villain to begin with, so very good. Or interesting villain to begin with, like in the cartoons and a lot of the films. Just don't know a lot about the comics, but very cool Gargamel. And in first place is Smurfette. Rightfully so. It's very much her film. Storyline centered around her. The dramatic nuance, the character development. It's pretty much all about Smurfette in that sense, where she's in a very interesting position where does she belong with her adopted family? Does she belong with her birth family? And there's a lot of nuance to it for a film like The Smurfs, and she is a very fascinating character, and I love that she cares about her adopted family, but she does learn to care about Vexy and Hackus, and there's a lot of great drama to it, and it's very upbeat and emotional, and Smurfette very much carries the Smurfs too and helps it work better than the 2011 film, even though I do like that film a lot. So, in my opinion, Smurfette is easily the best character in the film, and one of the big reasons why I'm a big fan of Smurfette, and there are several reasons, but a lot of it is because of the Smurfs too. So that's my ranking of the characters from the film.